I'm going live. Hope the sound is working. I got all kinds of goofy things happening on my computer the past couple weeks at least. Hopefully we have stabilized. Hopefully we have stabilized. And um I just figured I would come live just to show some of the things that I've been coloring and maybe what I'm thinking about coloring. And do a little bit of coloring. How about that? Um, okay. A few things. I am in, like, let's see, I did a whole lot of work this morning. And so this is my break. And then, I don't know, afterwards, things I still know I have to do is do some work. And then I also need to practice piano. I probably should make my plan today, my whole piano learning kind of schedule and what I've done and what I'm planning on doing. I think I need to keep track of that. And so I'm going to do that. Um I need to watch the second episode of Bridgerton first season because um group of my online friends we're going to actually talk about that. I got to find out the day we're going to talk about that show. Um, so I have to do that. And let's see, what else? I gotta do something for dinner. Thinking about dinner. Of course, I'm probably going to tell you about what I'm thinking about doing for dinner because I always do that. Um, what else do I need to do today? Oh, I have to do laundry. I started laundry. I have to continue doing laundry. I do that. Um, I don't know, that short list. That's the short list. Did a whole bunch of stuff already this morning. Cleaning the oven, cleaning my pizza stone that I used for the first time. That was a whole lot of drama using that the first time. The whole crust, like the bottom of the crust stuck to the stone. Despite me looking up all kinds of directions for what to do, like 50% of people were saying season your stone, use oil to season your stone, and the other half were saying no, don't put oil on your stone, and crazy anyway. But um it stuck to the whole bottom stuck to the stone. It was a nightmare. Cleaned it up this morning. My husband started last night, soaked it in water eventually because he's like, this is not coming off. And then I soaked it with more. I boiled water and poured it on there, and then was able to scrape it off with a plastic scraper very easily. So I, I'll tell you more about that in a little bit because it took a whole lot to do what I had to do with it. Besides that, anyway, coloring. What are we coloring? First thing is, well, I got this open, don't I? Let's just go through this. Um, I love this book, Mythographic Aviary. Like, thanks to Aviary. Thanks to Bubble Studio. And hey, Yuki, cute little dog. I started coloring in this book, and I really want to finish coloring in this book. This may be one of the few books that I ever actually finish, and so I want to keep up with that. Um, some pages that are out of here that actually I put in a binder because they're finished. Um, I probably should put this one in here too, but nowadays I look at it, I can do a little bit of something like with the birds and things. So I may do that when I'm in a mood. This was a page that turned out initially it was an epic fail, and then I made it into something that actually I really like this now. Um, but anyway, this was basically the first mythographic book I've colored in, and it takes a lot for me to learn how to color in this book. And like, I don't know why my camera. Let me see if I can get it better. I don't know. How can I do that? I wanted to use this book because, or this camera because it is better at um wide angle. Maybe I might need. Oh, it's upside down. Oh shoot. Hold on one second. How do I turn off the camera? Is there a way to do that? Let me do that. Every time I think I have this right, I don't. And it's because, like, I use it for different things. So, um, I wind up having to switch it. Like, when I use it for work, it's got to be in one position. When I use it for this, it's got to be in a different position. And can't I preview myself off screen? Can't I do that? Why can't I do that? Or maybe I can and I just don't know how. Okay, that's better. Let me put my clip back. Yeah, that's more what I want, but I gotta get it straight. Apologies for my not being. No, I didn't want it to go there, but it's closer. I have my clips on here and all this other kind of jazz, but I wanted the wide view since I knew I was going to be flipping some pages for a little bit. Okay, so need to finish this one. Um, this one is relatively done, but like now I can see things I can do with this too to kind of, just kind of finishing touches. Maybe add some stickles to this too. Um, Child, this one gave me so much grief. I might be able to add more stuff to it to if my brain can wrap itself around it. But this was problematic for me, this page. But like I said, I was learning how to color in these books from this book. Okay, I got little things to finish on here too. I can see things I need to tweak on it. I am not a fast colorist at all because I'm not going to quickly go through something just to finish it. I mean, some things I will do that with and at least try, but um ultimately, like if I'm not feeling how it looks, I'm not feeling how it looks, and I'm going to do something to make it so I like how it looks. And I cannot get this thing still. Do I need to bend it? Hold on one second. Again, I don't know if you can hear the wind in the background, but like, okay, we went from 67 degrees to 37 degrees to, I don't know, 29 degrees and snowstorm. So, but this is where I live. Can we get that to focus? Okay. Love this page. I do see things I can do in here too, like darkening some of these spots with a darker blue just to kind of bring out some of the colors. But I like how this one turned out. It was scary, the process of coloring it. And then there was a point where it's like, okay, I think we're getting somewhere. This I need to finish too. Um, so there's a bunch in here that I need to do some things with. This one I think is relatively done, although I feel like I can add. I have a little bit of, yeah, you can see that reflective gold in there. And I think I want to add more, but I want to be careful of where I add it because there's a point where it can just be too much. So maybe a little bit of white in some spots too, just little, bits. I don't know. I still need to do his beak and his feet. Just notice that. Need to finish this page. I was always saying I wanted to make this reflective, like have it be a mirror. For whatever reason, that's what I wanted to do instead of having it be like this one. So I still need to do that. Probably a few little things I can do in here too, finishing touches. But overall, I like this one. I think it's, pretty much done. I could leave it alone, but I'm not gonna. Even after this, I'm probably gonna do a little bit of other things in there. Um, this one I still need to work on. I want the swans to be white. That's what I want them to be, or whatever they are. Storks, storks. They're storks. I want them to be white, which is like a challenge, because like how do you show that a bird is white? It's weird. But I have a lot of things to finish on here. The lamps and other things. So this one, I just love this one. It's like so, something about this particular mythographic book is just so sweet that I like it. Um, this one's pretty much done. I don't think I really have the skill to add anything to this, like little finishing touches that really would kick it up a notch. I don't think I have the skill to do that, but I can see like kind of like if you added white in certain spots, that probably would help. But I don't trust myself to do that and not mess it up. So I'll probably just leave this one alone. I could probably put it in my binder of completed. This is the one I had this open to because I'm thinking I'm feeling working on this right now. Not this moment maybe, but yeah, this month I feel like I want to work on this some more. I think the work that I did on here before with acrylic paint, I think I was using the Mondo Llama paints or something. I think now, and I don't know, I used a bunch of acrylic things on here. I think now it's dry enough where I can use pencil to go over certain spots and it won't, take it off or do anything strange. Um, so yeah, so I'm kind of feeling working on this now. I opened it up the other day and I was like, oh, so there's that one. I need to finish this one, which I think I used water on here. And what water mediums I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't think I wrote it on the back. Nope. But yeah. But yeah, I think I can work on this, finish this up too. Maybe it'll be my goal for 2026 to finish up this book. This was hard to even get to this point, this particular one. I can see things that it needs and that I could add, but again, like I don't know if I have the skill to do it. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this one. Oops, still gotta color that thing though. There's this one which I want to do something to make it look more like raindrops in the background. To add that to it, and I don't know how to do it. And this bird is just so huge that I don't know. I don't want to color him in with anything because he's just big. That's just how he is. Um, I don't know what I could. I don't know. Something about it just feels like a big blank in some ways, and I'm not sure how to approach this. So maybe doing like the little raindrop things in the background might be enough, or maybe not. I don't know. So thinking on this one. Then there's this one, which is coming out the book. It is pretty much done. I don't think I want to do anything else to this, even though I think I could. Um, but I don't think I want to mess with it anymore because I don't want to mess it up from where it is. Um, be at a point where I like it and then add things to it and mess it up. I'd hate to do that. So I don't know, but I'm still keeping it in the book because I still feel like I really could do something else with it. This one, oh my gosh. Because I started with all these little things, oh my gosh, it was so hard doing all of these. Um, are they all finished? There's a few up here. I had started with pencil. Pencil was tedious and not that pretty. So then I started using gel markers and acrylic markers, which combination of both, I think, whichever would work the best in a particular spot. And then I outlined with a black marker. And then I says, "Oh my gosh, this is too much work. I need a break." And I haven't been back to it since. Um, but yeah, I think there's some more back here too. I think I did enough on it basically with this part that I can push through and finish the rest. Of course, I'm not putting pressure on myself to do that, but yeah, I think I'm at a better point of now since I've colored most of these little things in, which has already laid out a plan for it now. So I got to stick with that plan. So there's that one. Um, this guy pretty much done, although I feel like there's something I can do with this. I feel like I'm not even sure what this stuff is. And so that's what's kept me from going any further. But definitely needs a background. So we'll be working on that in a moment when I feel like it. This one, which I really want to be all blue and yellow, but for me to do that, I really need to focus. So I've kind of left it here. And not sure what to do about the flowers. Should the flowers be like white with a touch of blue, like the clouds? Should the flowers be yellow, like maybe two different colors yellow, different from this color? Um, should they have any green in it, like in the middle, in the center, or anything? Should it have a little bit of brown anywhere in it? Um, yeah, I'm not sure. And then I realized I have more of the bird to color, which is like, oh my gosh, now I gotta match the color. So that's gonna be interesting. That's why I try to color like anything, that I try to color all the like things at the same time so I don't run into this problem. So now I have to do that. I have to try and remember what pencils I used and all that. I think I probably used Derwent Chromaflows, I think, and probably a Prisma in there somewhere. But yeah, I had to try and match the color. I don't think I wrote it on the back either. That's the benefit of writing what you did on the back. But so this was why I opened this book, because I was watching videos from Nitros Farms, and she has silky chickens, and I like watching her channel because I like watching her chickens. They're cute. Um, and she had some. She was hatching some eggs, and it made me think. The little chicks made me think of it. And Easter time, don't they always talk about little baby chicks or whatever? This is at one time where you can get those little chick things in the store, right? That are like marshmallow or something like that. I don't like them, but I think this is the only time of year you can get them. So I initially got this book because I thought about coloring this page, which I might start doing today. And I need to move my little sharpener tray. Okay. So that's it for this book. That's as far as I've gotten in this book. So as you can see, I got a lot of pages to go. I started coloring this page when I don't know, it was like my busy time of the year. I think it was December, and Foxy Colorist was doing Mythographic Mondays or something, I think. And and she was talking about doing a mythographic page in red and green. or something like that. So that's when I started this, but then I didn't go back to it and I lost track of where the challenge was, when it was, and all that other kind of stuff. So that's why I had started this one. So, and where's the first page they colored? Oh, I probably put it in the book because I was done with it. The first page, and I forgot about this one. There's this one. Again, I got to worry about color matching, but I don't think it's going to be hard with this one because I do these colors a lot. I put my phone on the charger. So I'm not too worried about matching the colors on this one. They could even be a different color. They don't have to be the same. The front back wings here don't have to be the same as these. Is it in here still? Oh, I love this page. I can take this page out because I'm done with this one. And I colored this page relatively fast. I mean, not even relatively fast. I colored it fast, which was kind of amazing. I did use water on here somewhere. I think I used Neocolor 1s, and then I also used Neocolor 2s on the flowers, and then pencil on the birds. I love this page. Maybe because it came together so quickly. That might be why. Why does this seem like things out of focus? Focus. Yeah, I can take this one out, but oh, here it is. This is the first page that I colored in here. I actually wrote on here what I did too. They have chroma flows added 7/15/2025. Licorice, light blue, denim blue. That might be the page colors I used on that big swan. What does that say? Obsidian green? Is that what that says? Can't tell what that says. This was hard to color. It really was. For better or worse, I'm calling it done unless I get some bright idea that pops up in my head. Is there any more? Because I almost thought I was done after that page, but I guess not. I think that's it. This one, and that green one. Yeah, I only went ahead with that one, the green and red one, because of that challenge, but then I wound up not finishing the challenge, so that was kind of whatever. I could probably put more gold on some of these. Sometimes I feel like that's cheating, just using a metallic marker or whatever, but sometimes, that's the only way to get what you want out of a picture. But I try not to go there straight out the box. I need to mark. I want my smaller tab thingies, but I gotta find where I have them. I want to color this one. Okay, can I gotta do it this way. I can write on there what I used. Just so I know where the pages are that I need to finish. So that's what I plan on working on for the rest of the month in this book. One of those. Oh, I don't want to get on the page though. You gotta shoot. I don't want anything to come off from the. Maybe I'll do that way. I'm afraid that's going to peel off some of the stuff, but it's not finished anyway, so maybe that's not so bad. That's why I want my smaller one. Maybe I can just rip this one up somehow. why I want my smaller tabs. I gotta find where those are. That's cute. I kind of like this one too. This looks very springy to me. And it keeps going out of focus. Why? I like this one too. Yeah, see, I really like this book. And now that I'm getting used to coloring in it, you know, I like his line work and everything, and it's a lot easier to manage than the Wallenska Chicks pages. Okay, where's it? Where's the red orange page? Where is it? This is Joseph Kattenbach, so of course everybody loves Joseph. I'm gonna do this on the side. So these are the pages I need to finish. So I can see that readily and just open it up when I'm ready. This is what I've been working on in between work stuff. Is this trying to finish up this mandala because I want to do a short for it on Monday for Mandala Monday, but at the moment I'm kind of stuck with what to do in the background and for these extra pair of lips. I'm not sure what to do. Should I just do more of the colors I have here? Should I make them gold, which I've been thinking about? I did know I wanted the black background. That was pretty easy to do. So I don't know. I may work on this now because I can do it without thinking. If I do it without thinking, I'll just do it, and then it will be, it will be what it is. Plus, I want to do it for Mandala Monday, so it'll be done for that too. I don't know, but I'm stuck. If you think of any ideas of what colors I can do for this, let me know. I didn't realize my thing wasn't out all the way. Maybe that's why my camera wasn't doing what I wanted it to. So this I'm going to be working on. Once I finish this one, then it's like find another mandala. This is from Helen Elliston's Inky Mandalas. Then I started coloring in this book I've had for ages since I first started coloring. Peaceful Paisley's Artist Coloring Book. It's a Peter Popper press book. I love Paisley, and I'm pretty sure I've told my story about Paisley. So I started doing this, and I want to do this for the month of March. A very busy page. And when I first looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so busy. I can't, it's making me tired looking at it. But if I look at it as something that I'm just going to do in all one color, it's not overwhelming to me. So I'm just going to be pulling out all the green and coloring in with this. And I'm starting off with my colors because I have the Color 300 set that I've had, for, I don't know, 2-3 years, and those greens, there's so many of them, so I thought I'm throwing them all on this page. So that's what I've been doing here. And then also then I'm thinking, even while I've been coloring, I've been thinking, oh yeah, I can use like a green gel pen or a green metallic marker or a green like acrylic marker or something, I don't know, in some spots, and some of the water-based markers I have and things like that. I can also put them in here too. So, but right now I'm just starting with the colors because, I don't know, because, just because. So that's, I've been working on, and it's nice because in between me doing work around the house or work stuff for my job, I can just come down and put down some more green, and it's relaxing just to focus on that one. pencil and just color in spots and then put it down, you know. So what I just noticed, I started coloring this. I don't know what pencil I left off with, but that's okay. Doesn't matter because it's all green and I can color right over it. But I am wondering what pencil it is. Is it one I sharpened? It might be this. So I still have the Hannah Colors pages, and I haven't picked one of those to color yet. I still am like for another thing to color. I'm not sure if I want to do those. Is it Clara Markova pages? If I want to do one of those, the one with the mouse, because I love those 3 pages. I don't know if I want to do one of these, or I've also been thinking of a gnome page, because I have that the big gnome book, um, that the Creative Haven illustrator does, like the smaller, like the smaller gnome books. I have that big one, and I'm pretty sure that, well, what, there's one that says gnome for the holidays, so there's probably one for St. Patrick's Day. But I gotta find where that book is. I don't know where it is. I mean, I don't know even if I have that one. I don't remember. So, yeah, I kind of would like to do one of those, but I don't know where it is. So, and I looked through my PDFs and I don't have a St. Patrick's Day one in a sample. So, I don't know. So I'll probably have something random on the side for um coloring when I don't feel like doing um any of these other things. And now I'm looking. See, I can't help it. Looking at my PDF thing. This page, which has been a pain in the butt to color, I have like 2 attempts of coloring this, and there is so much stuff in this picture. It's crazy. And yeah, it's a challenge for me. I can't get it to a place where I like it. Yeah, I don't know. Something spring. I colored this page already. I think. Did I? Maybe not. With the mushrooms. I don't know. It's very springy though, but it's almost more summery than springy. Yeah, so I don't know. Oh, I got some blank pages in there. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for another thing. Because I kind of like to have different styles that I'm coloring at the same time, because they each give their own kind of relief or relaxation. So, hold on 1 second. All my PDFs came out the folder. I love this page. I need to finish that, but I probably won't do it until Christmas time. But I love this page. This is Tatiana Bogema. Also need to finish this one, which I did with the Color Premiums. I started in January. I was just getting bored with the colors, because I kind of limited myself with the whatever, this was not a formally thought out palette. So I just was like, I'm getting tired of using these same few pencils. I'm going to use more. I don't know, trying to see if I can find anything else for you. That's cute. I don't know. So I know that what's her name? Johanna Basford has a new book out. I won't be getting it. It's small. No, I won't be getting it. Just to let you know. In case anybody's wondering. Nope. Not into tiny. And I still get a little stressed with coloring Johanna Basford pages, so not for me. That's kind of interesting. Kind of random. But I want something with more form. I don't see any in here. I need to get these really put away because of look how they are. Oh, this is a nice paper. So let's just do a little bit of, I don't know, I'm just going to color some green now. How long have I been on here? Only 35 minutes? It feels longer. I need to match the screen. And I need I need another color sharpener. I want a new one. Whoa! And we're throwing pencils around. And something moved. What happened? How did that move? Trying to get the picture of my page. That's what you need to see. What happens if I do? Oh, probably need to go that way, not the other way. There we go. So about the pizza stone. Okay. I had to, after I did the thing with the boiling hot water, like my husband had soaked it with water to try and get the dough that stuck off the bottom. I mean, like the whole round of the dough, the bottom stuck. So we ate the top of the pizza, which is the best part. Well, except I'm a crust person, but it's with all the stuff on it. So then this morning I boiled some hot water and poured it on there, and I just let it set for a couple seconds. And so that combined with my husband having it putting water on it last night to soak, not submerged, just run the water and let the dough soak up the water. So with me putting the hot water on it this morning, then it was able to come up with, I could get it off easily with just really with just 2 or 3 scrapes of a plastic, one of those flat scrapers. So then I kind of wiped it down a little bit, and there was stuff that was stuck to it, and it wasn't going to come off. And you're not supposed to use soap on it at all. No soap, no oil, just like water and like a damp cloth or wet cloth, and that's it. And so I turned on the oven to 550, let it preheat, and then I put the stone in the oven for like about an hour, hour and a half. And so that anything that was left over on it would turn to ash. And then you could just, wipe it off. So I was hopeful that would happen. I Googled it and they said that's what's supposed to happen. And that was what happened. And so I scraped that off and wiped it off because there's one piece that was really still kind of stuck a little bit, even though it was all burnt up. But it came off easily though. It wasn't hard to come off. Yeah. So and now the stone looks totally different, but that's okay because I guess it's supposed to. I guess it gets better with use, but I still don't understand why it stuck the first time. I don't get it. And they're saying don't use oil. I was like, well, how else are you supposed to get it to not stick? I don't understand that. And they had no instructions for first use on the box. So I kind of feel like I kind of wish instead that I had just bought um a cast iron one, but I didn't know they existed until I went looking yesterday. Or I could think because some of the results I was getting for cleaning it were for cast iron pizza um stones. And I was like, I didn't even know they made such a thing, because if I had known, I probably would have just gotten that instead of a stone. I also found out my stone is not really ceramic, but it's kind of like one step up. This other material, which I can't remember the name, and I'm not going to Google it right now. So that was a good thing. That was good to find out. It can actually take more heat than ceramic. So that was kind of good to know. And I wonder if that had anything to do with how, you know, if maybe I could have used oil on it. I don't know. The original pizza stone I had was from Pampered Chef. And so, I don't know. And I think I had it for about 20 years. Never had a problem with it until one day it just shattered. And I'm not sure why. Probably user error. Or maybe it was just tired. I don't know. Oops. Crack. See, I'm almost in some places thinking about using my. Let me do that. Breaking out with the Prismas, but I don't want to get too crazy with shading and stuff from the beginning. I don't want to do that because then that'll take forever. I want to just fill in everything and then do the detailing after, if I want to do any detailing after. I am thinking of putting gold in this, using like a metallic marker to do some of these things. So some of the little things inside like this, using green and gold to do that. Especially this time of year, I just need something that doesn't require a lot of brain power, because my brain power is going towards other things. So yeah, so I just want to, when I sit down to color, I just want to not have to think. I don't know if this is a one color, if the color for M Bean's color with me for this month is green. I still have to go check. I was trying to check on a few of those challenges the past couple of days, as my computer would let me. I know that Jamie has a spring coloring challenge. I don't know what the details are for it though. Um, but if you go to the channel Disney Coloring with Jamie, um, I have posted some of the shorts that people participating in it are making, just in case people were, well, one, because I wanted to share the videos, but two, because in case anybody was interested in the challenge, they could check it out and do it. And that's one reason why I want to find a gnome page, a gnome springy page, and a St. Patrick's Day page, because I don't know, I just think to do for that challenge. I'm trying to use any books that I have, because I'm not into buying more books. There's no reason for me to buy more books. I got enough to color. And I feel like sometimes there really isn't a need for another book. There's an unwillingness to color in the ones that you got. And I want to get out of that. I don't want to not every page is potential. Every page is potential. Doesn't matter who the artist is, doesn't matter um what type of illustrating it is, if it's bold and easy or it's complex, doesn't matter. Every page is potential. And you just got to figure out, am I ready for this? And what can I do with this? And am I ready for this? If you're not ready for it, then put it down. Get another book. Ask the same question. And but you kind of have to be ready for a challenge because you don't learn how to color in a particular artist's book until you start. That's what happened to me with this mythographic book. Because I used to say I would never touch a mythographic book. I don't want those books. I'm never going to color in those books. And I've done a lot of coloring in this book. And I've done some in some of the other ones. Now, I may not like some of the other books that much as I like this one. I think one reason I like this one is because I've learned how to color in it. I have some pages I like a lot, and I have some pages I don't like. But coloring in them, all of them, I learned something. And coloring badly on one helped me learn how to color better on another one. You always get better by doing. You may not be better than somebody else, but is that the goal? That's not my goal. I don't care about being better than somebody else. I care about doing what I can do in it and using up my supplies. That's what I care about. I am my only competition because I'm not trying to compete with anybody else. I appreciate what other people do. I like seeing how other people do things. And then when I see what they do, it's like, maybe I'll try and do that because I want my skill level, to increase, which in some ways helps your enjoyment to increase. It's also good for your brain to challenge yourself. It helps the crevices in your brain, your actual physical brain, deepen. And I said I wasn't going to be doing this kind of detailing, but it's a habit. But I'm not breaking out with my colors to do it yet. Oh, plow is coming. You might hear it because they get pretty loud. Oh, that wasn't too loud. Yeah, it was so. It's still windy, but it got so windy this morning. I was like, oh my gosh! I cracked open the window because I had that, the pizza stone in the oven, and because it's trying to burn stuff off. It's getting hotter and hotter. So because it's turning what was left on the stone to ash. So the process to get to there, it's like a slow burn, and it was like, oh, the smell. So I tried to crack a window in the kitchen. Eventually I did, but I had to change from one window to the next because I was afraid the wind would just catch that little crack in the window and like maybe tear the window off. I was like, oh dear, that would be bad. That's how windy it was. Crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't know it was supposed to get like this. So yeah, I don't know, like for inches, I don't know how much we got. The wind was blowing so much, it's like almost like stuff doesn't stick just because the wind keeps blowing. I slept really good last night though, despite the wind. So I posted a short. I think I posted it yesterday. Ciao. I'm watching this short from like a um, jazz pianist who also teaches. In that short, it's like, oh my gosh. Well, like that's like my work for the entire year. What do you put in that short? It's like, my goodness, how many lessons are you going to give me at once? And I could see what he was saying in that video too, because he was talking about a song that I'm pretty sure people have heard, especially if you watch any Spike Lee movies. If you've watched any of them, the older ones, you hear this song by Miles Davis in it, and which I can't remember the name of. Um, but he was playing the part, the memorable part from that song, the clip you always hear from it, and he was showing how you play it on piano, and then how you take that and kind of transpose it and play with it, and how you learn the like the fingerings and theory and stuff behind it, all that jazz. He did all this in a short, and I was like, oh my gosh. It was good though, because like now it lets me know, okay, I need to practice this, this, and this, and this, and that'll be one more thing I can do. And it's the same color, but that's okay. We can change it when we get a marker. For some reason, I just want to finish this particular paisley. So that's another thing to add to my learning list for the technique overall, and then also jazz technique and chord progressions. So I'm getting what I need to practice, and I just have to practice it on the regular. And I was reading about, like, I think I may have asked Google, um, how often you should practice sight reading, and how. So I was on the right track with that. Like, you usually want to take something that's at least one level below your skill level, and try to sight read things that are at least one skill level below where you are. And they were saying do it 2 or 3 times a week. I'm thinking 2 or 3 times a week seems like a lot. So I feel like I need to do it at least once a week. My problem is, once I start sight reading something, I want to learn the whole thing and be able to play it, you know, fluidly, which then is like, okay, that takes time. And then it takes time for me learning the other stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I have a hard time starting to learn something and letting it go. I don't want to let it go. I want to keep going. Kind of like with coloring a page, I'm that way too. When I start coloring a page, why do I keep moving stuff? Am I moving this? How is it moving? When I start coloring something, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. Unless it's a page that's really getting on my nerves. I have those. There are definitely those. Now, see these ones that I colored over? I'm going to use acrylic marker, like metallic acrylic marker, leave a drop, and leave a drop and move along. want that color green in there. I don't know if I can finish this by the end of the month, but you never know. Oh, I don't think I want that green either. Not there. Is it different enough? Might be. So dinner, what I'm thinking about making for dinner, actually two things. If my broccoli is still alive in the refrigerator, I want to make some, like cheesy macaroni with broccoli, and then fry a couple pork chops, which I probably won't eat, but my husband will eat them. Just not much in the meat lately. Not quite. I don't know. It's weird. And I had this cheese sauce that I got from um, this kind of produce box thing, locally sourced stuff. And I figured I'd try it out because, some of the cheese stuff from around here is really good. But this is basically like, I don't know, it's like, seems kind of gluey, just like, I don't know, like, well, not Cheese Whiz, because Cheese Whiz sprays, but I don't know what you call that stuff. But anyway, I'm going to use it up though. Because the only way I can figure to use it up is to use it in something I'm cooking so that, I don't know, it has a real kind of processed cheese kind of aftertaste or flavor or something to it that I don't really like. But if I do it with broccoli, I'll be okay with it. So that's one thing I'm thinking of making. And the other thing I'm thinking of making, which I may make both of these actually, both the pork chops and the cheesy broccoli macaroni, um, is just to make my butter beans. To make butter beans. Because it's cold and windy. And if it's going to be like this for a few days, yeah, it's kind of butterbean weather for me. Why does this keep moving? Is it me or what? Am I bumping my head and I don't realize it or something? Uh-uh. Let's put that there. So then I'll have something for all week. And I'm in the mood to bake. So I'm aiming to bake some chocolate chip cookies. Not chocolate chip. Ugh, not chocolate chip. Oatmeal. I seem to be able, I don't know, something about my teeth has improved where that, I don't know, all of a sudden eating sliced apples isn't torture anymore, which is wonderful because I love eating sliced apples and had to stop when I got my braces because I don't know, it was painful and annoying because everything was getting stuck in my braces and none of it was getting into my belly. It was so annoying. So the pleasure of eating those was gone. So now I'm venturing out. It's like, okay, well, if I can eat that now, can I eat this? And it seems like, yeah, the window's opening back up, which probably means the braces are about to come off. My appointment is next Wednesday, so we'll find out. But I'm really glad that I can start eating more of the things that I'm used to eating, which is why I'm even going to eat broccoli. I'm going to push it and try and eat broccoli. I did eat a little bit of it already, but I had it chopped up really, um, I had it kind of chopped up, really small, and had it kind of on the soft side. Other thing that I was able to eat is cucumbers, and I made a cucumber salad with red onions. You know, red onions, vinegar, and a little bit of sugar, just kind of like a quick pickle kind of thing. Oh my gosh, they taste so good. And the cucumbers are crunchy, and yeah, I've been eating that and putting that on sandwiches and stuff. And um, yeah, that's something that I hadn't been able to do for a long time either. Those have been like my staples for eating. What that was really good for me, and I also really enjoyed it. Cucumbers in any form. Um, uh, Walnuts, roasted walnuts, which I haven't tried eating any roasted walnuts yet. But I may try that soon. Um, grapes, red seedless grapes, actually, um, and sliced apples. As long as I had those four things, I was happy. Because what I would do, like, that's what I would snack on during the day. Sometimes I put a little bit of yogurt with it if I needed some protein or whatever, you know. And I lost weight like that. Lost a lot of weight like that. And the thing is, those foods, those four foods, are really satisfying for me. I mean, really satisfying. Like, kind of like addicted to it. But I haven't really been able to eat them for 3 years almost, which made me sad and frustrated. But now we might be on the other side of the mountain, which also makes me think, wow, how messed up were my teeth? They didn't look messed up. Like, if you looked at me, you'd be like, you need braces? But I really did need braces. They were messed up. And the thing is, they were going to keep doing that. They were going to keep moving if I didn't do anything. So take note of that. If you, in aging, your teeth move. They move. So you might want to see an orthodontist. If you've already been to an orthodontist, if you've already had braces, wear your retainer. Wear it. Don't let your teeth move, because it actually caused me to lose a tooth, and I didn't realize my teeth were moving. And I know I've said this before, but it's so important. I mean, it really changed my world a whole lot for the negative. Nobody warned me that that could happen. Okay, where are we? Do you want to go up or down? Up or down? Let me go up. Do I want that in there or no? I say no. I don't know if I like that either. I didn't know that Shonda Rhimes was the one who wrote, or whatever, um, Bridgerton. I had no idea until I watched that first episode the other night. I think my husband wants to watch it with me now because he caught like the end of it that I was listening to it, like maybe the last 20 minutes. He was getting into it. I was like, uh oh. Just don't be sitting there asking me who's this person, who's that person, because you're watching it just like me. Just watch it. Stop talking. You can talk at the TV like I do. Talking at the characters on the television. But don't be asking me who these people are and all their background and everything. It's like, no, just go and watch the whole episode by yourself. Then catch up to me. Then we can talk. I'm tempted to do that green, but I think I want to go lighter first because I don't know if I'm going to get the right green in there. So I'm just going to go lighter and then I can darken it later. And I'm basically just doing this like a mandala, but like coloring in what's there, trying to keep the same color, the adjacent colors, make them different. That's the only thing I'm doing. And eventually you get the whole thing colored in. It's a kind of a good mindless thing to do. You don't really have to think about it. Except don't put the same colors right next to each other and you're good. I still have the Fox page that I need to color for Mythographic too. I still have that one and that face. So those are two other things that I can color this month. And I can probably do the Fox page for Jamie's dog coloring collab because they're kind of dogs. Nice thing about all being the same color, you can actually color over. I don't have to worry about fitting in the lines. It's like, just put it in there. It doesn't matter. I like that. Easy, easy. Take easy when you can get it. Because not everything is. Oh, I gotta read today. That's the other thing. I need to read. I just found out this week. Okay, here's what I learned this week segment that um that there's such a thing as um I hope I don't go like way off on a limb, but I do not promote any kind of ideology or anything. That's not what I'm about, but I'm curious about everything. There's such a thing as a Christian anarchy, and I was like, what? And it's really interesting. I'm reading about it, and it's really interesting. Um, yeah, of which I found out because I was looking for a video that maybe was by Jack Jacques Ellul. And that's how I found out because it says he's a Christian anarchist. I was like, really? What the heck is that? No idea. I know now. Um, somewhat basics, you know. But yeah, it's interesting. I found it interesting that like some of the things that the people that they've termed as this, I don't know, their reasoning is interesting, and I think it's a good biblical foundation for thinking about certain things in our world today. Uh, I don't subscribe to the whole of what anybody says, truthfully, but the parts that are meaningful, I stick with. But I'm not gonna stick with an idea just because it's purported by people that I find interesting or whose ideas I value or whose, you know, I like their faith walk or, as far as religion or anything like that. I don't follow nobody. It's like Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. That's what I stick to. I stick to the Lord, and if something's not ringing right with me, I'm not subscribing to it, but I can value the things that you give that um seem that follow scripture and that seem, like you're not adding any um I don't know. I don't know how to describe that. And I think that's something, the lesson I'm going through right now is because I'm finding out people who I thought were one thing, turns out they're another. And yet I have received some valuable um teaching or whatever from them. And then I find out these other things about them now, and it's like, oh, well, that's straight up caca. That's straight up wrong, evil for this reason, that reason, or the other. And I'm saying to God, like, why is this? Should I just distrust everything this person ever said or whatever? And I don't think that's the case. I think it's always that you have to be a wise Berean. Not just like, okay, well, they said this one thing right, so everything they say must be right. No, don't do that. Don't do that. And I find in myself that even back then, I was always questioning. I didn't take everything everybody said, you know, for straight up truth, but certain people have a certain amount of status and respect that you give them a little more slack than other people. But now I'm finding out that those people, like, no, they didn't deserve that slack. Um, Maybe it was that it wasn't detrimental for me to know that part of it at that time. And I did cut myself off from anything that seemed to be kind of out there or whatever. And I always had sensed a little bit of in there that it's like, okay, you need to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. Some of it you need to eat the meat and spit out the bones because there's a little bit of human in there that's not too um, reliable. Actually, there's a lot of human in all of us that's unreliable. But yeah, so I've been going through this thing of trying this, figuring out, well, what's real, what's true, and what's not. What's real and what's not. What's you, Lord, and what's not. What's just a crock of poo? And it's an uncomfortable place to be, but it's also a really great place to be because you don't want lies mixed with your truth. You don't want a root of lies seeping up later in your life that you suddenly have been taking for truth when it's not. And so seeing this thing about Christian anarchists actually makes me think, oh, well, this is kind of the same thing, is that I can eat the meat and spit out the bones. And it's not pick and choose. It's not being picking and choosing like, oh, well, this convicts me, so I don't want this. No, if it convicts you, then chances are that's the meat part. If it's convicting you, there's a lot of times that might be the meat part. You might want to look at that a little closer. It doesn't mean necessarily it is the meat part, but it might be because you might be rejecting it because it is actually the hit dog that's hollering, for lack of a better way of saying it. Or it could be that you just your spirit is discerning that something's off about it, and that's okay too. But that examination is important. Just like the wise Bereans, they searched the scriptures to see if it was so. They looked for themselves, and Paul didn't diss them for that, and God didn't diss them for that. Look and see. Don't take anybody's word for it. Look and see. That's so important. So important. Because we got a lot of human beings around here. Some who unintentionally are wrong. Like I know a lot of times I'm unintentionally wrong. And some who are intentionally trying to mislead you. Got a combination of both. So it's important to not just take somebody's word for it. Search the scriptures and ask the Lord to see if is this real? Is this true? Because trust and believe, He'll answer. He doesn't want you to be misled. And some very well respected people will not give you that disclaimer that, well, this is me, thinking this through. This isn't really thus saith the Lord. This is just how I'm interpreting this from this aspect or without whatever. You need to think about it yourself and see like what you think, but this is what I think about it. Some people won't do that. There's a lot of people who won't do that. So you got to use your brain, use your spirit, your own discernment through the Lord. Keep your eyes open because there's a lot of wolves running around. A lot of them. A lot of them are getting exposed now. A lot of these people that I didn't think were wolves, I'm finding out were wolves. Just like, I mean, how do you hmm, how do you not say a word about the oppression of people under South African apartheid as a religious leader, and then come to find out you own a whole diamond mine? You're part owner of a diamond mine in South Africa. What's that say? Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. What's more important to the Lord? Not that you make money from your gold mine, but that people are free from oppression of any kind. And I didn't know about that gold mine thing back in the day, but something in my spirit was like, no, like how can you be a Christian and not say a word about the oppression of people? That you know, isn't that the whole thing? Like what is it, Isaiah? Is it Isaiah 61, I think? You know, loosing the bonds on people, binding up the brokenhearted, etc., etc. Um, yeah, that was a big red flag to me back then, and I stopped listening to that person after that. I says, "There's something wrong. If you don't see that, that's wrong." Yet a whole bunch of musicians that like you qualify as a bunch of sinners and whatever, they're talking loud about it, and you're not saying anything. And in fact are saying something that is somewhat putting people fighting against it in a bad light, fighting against apartheid in a bad light. That was weird to me. And that was, my eyes were like, it's like, I think I'm staying away from you. I didn't talk bad about him or anything, but it's like, no, I don't know. Hey, Ivy Pearl. So you have to use your discernment. Don't be trusting other people. Use your discernment. It doesn't matter how much intelligence you have. It doesn't matter if you read books or you don't. Doesn't matter if you've been to college or high school, graduated high school, been to elementary school either. Does not matter. Does not matter. The Holy Spirit gives you discernment. It has nothing to do with human intelligence. Listen, 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 listen. Does this say, I'm trying to remember that scripture. It's like, this is the way, walk ye in it, and then, I can't remember the exact scripture. Too much stuff in my head lately. But whether you turn to the right or the left, whatever, you're going to know which way to go. If you let the Lord lead you. Just ask him, I don't know what I should do about this. He'll show you, he'll lead you. You'll be in the right place before you know it. Because all of a sudden you'll look up and be like, wait a minute. Most definitely. But it's interesting too that like some people that I read things from too, when I was like, I don't know, 15, 17, 19, and finding out today some of the things about those people, it's like, whoa. I was like, well, geez, that devotional I read by them really helped me get through things day to day. And the Lord will use those things. He will use those things to the truth of them. He will still lead you through them. Even though some of the people, what they were doing then, you didn't know about. And some of the things they did were caca. I guess it's grace. That, like, if Christ is preached, he kind of like, it'll happen. You'll get something from it anyway. You'll be blessed by the Lord anyway as an individual, reading the things that these people, somewhat duplicitous or whatever in their life, have produced, which is kind of amazing. Grace, grace, grace. But yeah, I'm thinking a lot about all that stuff and sorting through it because I found out a lot of stuff, like documented information, things, and things that are just historical. I was like, whoa. But I'm realizing that, like, part of my spirit was rejecting that stuff. While there was something, the part that was useful, it's like the Lord watered it in his own way, even if the person that came from they did not add to it appropriately. God watered it instead. The seed of it that was on point, he watered it. And I somehow rejected the way their some of their delivery or whatever else was in it, which I find that really amazing. It's like God's faithfulness, but that's God's faithfulness. Period. But I'm kind of looking back and saying, wow, like how did that happen? Where like I just didn't take that stuff. I think I was born a skeptic anyway. I think I think I kind of was. I mean, I was a person like ready to jump up and shout in church when the pastor at the time was talking about the wise Bereans and he was making the point of it. And I was so happy. I think I was like 16, 17 years old because it's like I ask questions. I'm always going to ask. Don't tell me not to ask because I'm going to ask. I may not tell you, but I'm asking in my head. I'm asking and I'm going to look for an answer cuz like I don't, my God doesn't lie. My God doesn't care to my God doesn't care if you ask questions. He welcomes it. So but when my pastor like taught on that and was talking about asking questions and seeking the Lord and asking people and whatever that is to search the scriptures, to search to see that that was good and to do that, I almost got up and shouted. It's like, oh, I belong here. It's like, okay, I can be a Christian because like I'm gonna ask. uh, because I've always been a naturally curious person. Like I used to say, I used to drive my mother crazy asking why all the time. She got so tired of it. But I can't help it. I want to know why. I want to know the reasons for things. So yeah, so I am finding um Jacques Ellul. I can't say his name right. I wonder why it doesn't sound very French. I don't know where his name comes from, but I'm finding him very intriguing, and I want to also have my eyes open for like where is he kind of like there's like all these different types of theologies and they all have like a lens that they look at the world through, and it's almost like they all have a bit of the it's almost like you go to the optometrist or ophthalmologist and they do that thing where they flip all those lenses, that big machine to say, how do you see it now, how do you see it now, how do you see it now? And it's kind of like that's kind of like what all the different theologies are. um and it seems like there's a lot of them where the way they focus, um it's like those, yeah, that's pretty good. And then when sometimes my eye doctor will say, well, is this one better? I'm like, well, I don't know, it's kind of the same. It's like it's different but it's the same. That's kind of like what some of these theologies are. They're different because they have a different focus. um but in a lot of ways they're the same. And then also in a lot of ways they're the same because they have some things that are kind of like, well, you're leaning so far to this thing, or you're leaning so far to that thing, or you're leaning so far this way or that way. It's it's almost like you need all of them together. So people are looking at certain things from the standpoint or point of view of their experience, their life, and the way they've experienced God and society. So it's good that they share that for the most part. Um, but all of them have things in them that are like, that's like too you doing too much. That's how I look at it. I don't know. Yeah, for real. Me too. They don't even get a side eye. I just like run out the door. See ya. Or I walk because I'm polite. I'll just politely walk out the door. No, because if I can't ask, you don't want me around because I will bust you up, and I don't think God wants me here busting you up, unless he sometime at some point has called me to bust somebody up, but he hasn't called me to do that yet. He just said walk away. Yeah, you have to be suspicious of somebody who doesn't want you to ask questions. Always be suspicious of that. If you can't ask questions, what are they afraid of? What are they afraid of? God doesn't mind you asking questions. If he did, I wouldn't be alive anymore. Because I ask. And I ask in all kinds of ways. And I be asking. You ain't got tired yet. How much green did we get? You know, it's I just kind of thought of looking at this. What would it be like to do this side all in lighter greens and then do another one in all darker greens? And then this one is like the mixture of greens. I don't know if I have the energy to do that, but I think that might be interesting. I don't want anything to upset my just like easy flow of coloring, because I want to just be able to open this up and start coloring. So if that were to happen, that would be cool, but I'm not going to hold myself to it because I got too many other things in my life right now holding me to things. So darker light. I'm going medium. And the thing is, we're all like works in progress. So even our pastors and teachers and leaders in the church, they're all works in progress too. And if yes, they are held to a higher standard because when you're in leadership, you are held to a higher standard. But they're still works in progress. It's only when we see them we're going to be like them. And so I think part of the problem is some of these leaders don't recognize themselves as works in progress until they do something that's blatantly wrong, that's blatantly sin, and then they're like, "Oh, well, I'm just a sinner saved by grace." Well, why didn't you realize that before? The haughtiness, the hubris, it's like, mm-mm. A wise man checks himself before sin has to check him, or getting found out has to check him. And I say that holding myself to that. I think we really do have to start looking more to ourselves for how we get fed. To don't You shouldn't rely on your teacher, your pastor, or whatever to be the one that feeds you. You're not a baby. You're not a baby anymore. It's one part, one way of like sustenance, that exhortation, but it's not the only way. You got to make sure you're getting all the ways. Get all the ways. Because there's people out there in the world who need us. They need love. And right now, it's interesting that a lot of people who don't know the Lord know more about Jesus than some of the church does. Jesus blatantly says, he has that ministry on earth where he does the things he does, and you got non-believers saying, "Well, why are these people who say they're Christians doing this, doing that, doing the other?" Even they have an expectation. If they saw it, if they saw it in us, they probably would they'd respect Christians and Christianity more. So I don't blame when anybody rails against Christianity, and I'm like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for feeling that way, because I know what you're looking at. I was like, yeah, it's a crock, because they're not living the life. They're not doing it. They're just talking it. They're just talking it, not doing it. And if you don't do it, then comes the question, well, is it doable? And if it's not doable, why would anybody who isn't a Christian want to be one? I wouldn't. Um, boop, 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 right in my mouth. I done made somebody mad. That's all right. That's exactly how I believe. So if you don't like it, it's just what it is. I love you, but really, people respond to love. They really do. They respond to love. I'm not talking about liking everything somebody does, but they respond to love. You show love, people just, everybody's longing to be loved, for real. Everybody. What does that love look like? What does that love look like? That's a question. Then I'm kind of asking myself right now, for real. What does that love look like? Hmm. What time is it? 1:42. Oops. What am I making for dinner? Probably need to leave and start prepping. Especially if I'm going to make more than one thing. I feel like I owe my husband some kind of hunk of meat for dinner. So I've been kind of like, I made that white chili, and we made pizza yesterday, and that came out in such a form that, like, okay, there are really no leftovers because it had no bottom. There were a lot of beans. Turned out there were a lot of beans in that white chili, and I'm good with it, but he's not. I'd gladly take more beans than meat, but he would rather have more meat than beans. And I didn't measure them properly, so there wasn't a nice. Well, that was my first time trying to make white chili, so um, I didn't get. I don't know. I didn't get the consistency like good enough for him. I mean, he's fine with it, but he's not really eating it. I think because there's too many beans. But the flavor is out of this world to me. But he wants to see more meat. So even though the meat's in there, he can't see it. So he's thinking, mm-mm. So I owe him a hunk of meat in a meal. Since I figure, oh, I'm gonna fry pork chops today. We're just gonna do that. I need to take them out. I might need to fry them tomorrow. At this rate, I was fussing around with that pizza stone. That I didn't get anything else done. I wound up cleaning the entire stove, the top, the sides, the back, the front, taking off the knobs. Like I went like all the way in, opening up the drawer that's underneath it, taking out the pans out of there and cleaning that and like yeah. So it turned into a whole like I said, well let's do it. We got the time, let's do it. So I didn't have room to take out anything out of the freezer and let it sit there, but I could season the flour a lot and get away with marinating, I suppose. I don't know. And I'm restraining myself because I've been looking on Amazon at all these cookware. Like, there's like a cast iron or whatever seasoned wok that's on there. It's like, oh, I really want it. Restraining myself. And then I saw a pizza. Well, I don't know even know what they call it. Pizza stone, but it's like um kind of cast iron and something else metal, carbon, cast iron and carbon metal. Restraining myself. This company called Lodge, they have really like great looking cast iron products, and I was looking on Reddit. Everybody was talking about them and saying that talking about that brand. Really tempted. It's like give me one of everything. Yeah, he wants a lot. That's my husband. He wants a lot of meat, a lot of meat. And I'm the opposite way. I want more vegetables, beans, less meat. But he did buy some. He'll actually eat a sandwich for dinner. He's not really that picky, but I can't let him do that all the time. Sometimes I'm busy with work, and it's like, yeah, just do it because I don't have time to cook, and he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what it's. I don't know. He can cook, but he won't. But I don't know. He doesn't have that much experience with it, but like he could be good with it, but he don't want to listen. that's that's what it comes down to. He doesn't want to listen. Do I have more? I made a quickie sauce for the pizza, and I just realized I have a lot of sauce left. I wound up not using it all. I gotta decide whether I'm gonna freeze it or use it. Probably gonna freeze it. I also want to see how long is the weather going to be like this because if it's going to go warm again, I don't know if I want a whole big thing of butter beans hanging around. Okay, Ivy Pearl, thanks for stopping by. Have a good rest of your day. Yeah, I need to go and I gotta go do some things, especially if I'm gonna bake cookies too. I have some. I think I mentioned this before. Sometimes, I'm like throwing the kitchen sink when I make my oatmeal cookies, and I have some corn flakes that I want to use up, and I'm thinking I may open them up to use to bake cookies. Might also be able to use them up to bread the pork chops, although I don't usually do that, but it's an excuse to use them up. Just crumble them up really, just crush them basically, and mix them with the flour. That's not my normal practice, but in the name of downsizing my pantry, using things up in there to make room for other things, which reminds me, shoot, I wanted to take out, I had to ask my husband to bring in some quart mason jars so I could um, vacuum seal some beans, dry beans in them to make more room in the pantry cupboard. Cause okay, here it is. I don't know what my thing is with beans, but I finally just did. When I figured out the cost of them, I thought, okay, yeah, it's probably like double the price of what it would have been like 5 years ago. But I just said, just do it. Beans go a long way. And I bought some cannellini beans, dried cannellini beans. And come to find out, I guess cannellini beans are the same as what is it? They're the same as are they the same as Great Northern beans? They're the same as something. And they just call it cannellini is just like the Italian word for them. But I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but like that's what Google told me. And I was like, what? All this time? Oh no, white kidney beans. They said white kidney beans and cannellini beans are the same thing. And I was like, really? I had no idea. Um, so actually, I bought some of those too, and so now I need to like I want to make space so they're easily accessible and I can see them well in the cupboard. Because yeah, between all the beans that I've purchased over the past month, so and it helps them keep longer too if you keeps them fresher if you vacuum seal them. So that's what I want to do. Vacuum seal them in jars. I don't want to make them go back outside in that wind and stuff. I mean, I know the garage is like right there, but next door, but you got to go into the wild blue yonder to go there. They're not connected. So just like tell him next time he goes out. And it's something I can do this week or have him do is vacuum seal those. I'm on a whole bean frenzy. But see, usually I did have a lot of beans in the cupboard anyway. I hadn't been shopping like I normally do over the past couple of years. Um, Mostly because the braces have me just not interested in food, period, and not really thinking ahead about cooking or anything because it's like I don't even know if I cook stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to eat it. Just like when I go for this adjustment, I don't quite know what they're going to do, so I'm not sure what I should be cooking. Because after I have an adjustment, sometimes it's no big deal, and sometimes it's like, oh, can't eat for a few days. I think I did that backwards. I should have started with the dark. Oh well. Yeah, I think I need to get off of here. I start coloring and I can't stop. Can't stop and it won't stop. To hear that Beastie Boys song. I love that song. I don't quite know what the lyrics are or anything, but I like the music and the melody and rhythm of the rap. Yeah, I'm probably going to use a liner around them. And I'm tempted to do that right now because I have this out. Let's see. Sometimes these they don't go over waxiness too well. But can I, I just want to play with it for a minute. Then I can look back and see, okay. So if I take a quick look at this after being away from it, that's usually a good judge. Do I like it or not? So I'll come back and look at it and say, what was that? Don't do that again. Or I'll say, ooh, what is that? I like that. Hmm. Then also after it dries to see if it really shows up afterwards. Because sometimes it doesn't. I don't know how I feel about that. But I like those. Hmm. Once I start, I can't stop. I do kind of feel like zoning out on a movie or something. But there's just so much stuff out there that I don't want to watch. That it's like, oh, oops. Okay, so now we gotta do that all the way. Then in one spot, you gotta do it everywhere. I would use the pointed tip, except the pointed tip doesn't work over. waxy stuff. Just doesn't. Hi, Renee. I'm using the regular color pencils. Oops, can't see that, can you? Where's the focus? Where's the focus? It won't show up. Oh, there we go. Colors. Can you see that? Yep, that's what I'm using, and this happens to be like very old Ohuhu water-based markers that I just am using just now to see if I like what they do. And this is a Peter Popper Press book. I've had it for a long time. Called Peaceful Paisleys. I don't know how peaceful they are. They're not. They're peaceful depending on how you approach them. Because it's peaceful to me now because I'm just not, trying to. Oh, I gotta get it done. Gotta get it done. Just like little by little, area by area, just kind of randomly coloring spaces, and that's working for me. Yeah, it really is working for me because I can't seem to stop. I don't want to stop, but I gotta stop because I gotta go do stuff. But it is relaxing. I'm coloring over this spot, but I'm going to color over it with a darker color. So I got the inside and the outside, but because I'm using all one color, I like that. Using all one color, I really don't have to worry about, you know, it's all green, so like it doesn't really matter. And I think I need to pull out. There are, you would not believe, like it's so crazy with this color set how many greens there are in it. Because I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh gosh. 25, 26, 27. Minimum 27 left in the case of greens other than these ones I have out. That's how many greens are in this set. These are the ones I have out, and there's 27 plus left in the case. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe like about 30 left in the case. Different colors. So, um, and I'm trying to get to any that I haven't used at all, which it is time for me to check for that. This one doesn't look like it was used as much. It's still kind of got a blunt tip, which kind of tells me I didn't use it too much. So, time to break out with it. And there goes the wind again. You know what? This is going on the outside. I really do think the colors are they're a great kind of all-purpose budget pencil. I like their waxiness and that they're smooth. Their colors are really vibrant. I like how they work with Prismacolors. Like a lot of times I'll use them together because these help hold in some of the um, dustiness or flakiness of Prismas, and then Prismas also help, they kind of blend in to the waxiness of this, and it gives you good, like, I don't know, kind of detailing and contour and whatever. I don't know, I think they work well together. And I like how when you color with these, the page shines. And you don't have to press that hard to get that shine. And I like shiny. I love shiny. So, where else can we color? How's that green to this one? I'm going to use it here. I can always turn this more yellow or something if I don't like it together. I want to do these things in gold. The little scallops. I always used to think that paisley, like especially the ones like these, that they look like amoebas. You know, amoeba cells. I have to look up the origin of paisley. I think I said this story before, but I love paisley. Like I used to, out of high school, I worked at a department store, and on my break, one of the things I like to go do was like go to the men's department to where the ties were, and in particular the paisley ties, like silk paisley ties, and just like I don't know, just touch them all. Not like to mess them up or anything. I mean, I would actually try not to touch all of them because that seems kind of rude. But looking at the colors in them, and they just were so beautiful. I was fascinated by them. I just loved color and textiles. Period. It's always my thing. Okay, I kind of like that green. We're gonna use more of this guy. What is this one? Spring green. Well, that's appropriate. Okay, I'm gonna head out now because I need to get up and run around. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for anyone who watches the replay. And well, I'm just gonna end it here. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.